I miss the old days. Bring back everything fucking old. The niggas, bring them all back from the grave. I miss the old days. I miss the old women. I miss the old music. I miss the old days. You just said some shit.
You kids today are nothing but punks. Sissified. So quick to pick up a gun. You're scared to take an ass whipping. This is what makes you a man. When I was growing up, this was all the protection we needed. You win some, you lose some. But you live. You live to fight another day.
Now I will never be your hater, I'm your biggest fan. I hope it falls into place just how you planned it. Life could put you in a pickle, just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. Shout out to BGS. Shout out to V. He had a conversation. He was talking about like 1.0, 2.0 / question mark 3.0 of the Black Manosphere. And the conversation kind of went into generations, different generations. And I thought about something, I said something, and I was like, I think us Gen X and baby boomers are disappointed and look at millennials and I guess zillennials as failures. They're too young to be considered failures per se, but we might look, well, not all of them are too young, but we look at them as failures because of the expectations that we put on them from our experiences of what we think they should be with the opportunities that we've worked to give them. And shout out to BGS for saying, you know, that is our fault because we expected them to be something that followed the same line of the same chain. And I would say part of that issue is we didn't instill them enough pride to respect the fact that of other people's sacrifices and struggles. Because what you see is a younger generation of kids that are disrespectful, young adults who are disrespectful, that are passive aggressive, and it's like half of us don't know where it's coming from, and the other half of us know where it's coming from, but we won't say. Half of us who don't know where it's coming from are the half that I would say, you know, gave these young adults and young kids the opportunities and they blew it. Or and don't get it twisted. When we were young, we blew opportunities too. And they blew these opportunities, and then they got an attitude as if somebody did them wrong for them blowing an opportunity. And then you got the people who taught kids to be disrespectful, and then they grew up and became disrespectful. They act brand new, like I don't know where this came from, and that's ridiculous. And one of the points I was making was we don't see eye to eye, and we can't understand millennials and zillennials because the vast majority of, I would say, Gen X and baby boomers, the goal was to get out of poverty, get into the middle class or upper class, to get out the hood per se, right? And a lot of us did that. And we worked our butts off to get out of the hood and to raise y'all in suburban environments, let's say that, or softer environments or happier environments. And now we can't figure out why y'all trying to run back to the hood when A, y'all not built like that because y'all didn't come up like that, and B, we don't know what you're trying to prove. I think it comes off as some of you young folks are trying to prove that you could have survived in the conditions we survived and thrived in, and it's like, nah, that's not true. Not be, you know, and you're making yourself have a hood experience, but it ain't really a hood experience. It's like a suburban synergy of a suburban synergy conclave of people from all of these nicer neighborhoods coming together and say, see, we could all be hood too together. And then it's like, wait, now y'all are being black in blackface. Now y'all are being blackish. And now the other thing about that is, and I think the young fellas are right about, younger guys are right about this. Um, because of technology and because of many different ways to make money and make a living, uh, some of us older guys are jealous. We are haters of the amount of success and the amount of money that these younger guys are making, and we feeling like they're less talented, but richer. Let's say that, right? And I can't. I can argue on. I can't really argue with it. I'll say that because you want the next generation to do better than you, and some guys are just jealous because they are doing better than us at a younger age. You know, when they winning, they winning. But on the flip side, if the guys who aren't jealous are kind of like, listen, man, um, it's cool that you're successful, but please keep the talent at a high level so the next generation has something to aspire to be better than. Because what's happening is, I think we're seeing too many average and mediocre people become successful, and it doesn't compute with us. It just doesn't compute. It's like, now you're not pushing the bar of excellence, you're pushing the bar of mediocrity. And we can't say anything because people are mediocre and successful. It's like, I want you to be successful, but then again, if you know, the old saying was the cream of the crop rises to the top, and it looks like millennials and zillennials kind of um, suppress their excellence and exalt their average, you know, as far as what goes on. And that becomes a problem. And I think we're disappointed. And ironically, you know, that's gonna fall on us. Cause I would say we came from rougher environments when we were children and teenagers and young adults, and we still socialized. We still went outside. We still played. The parents still communicated. We spent the nights over people's houses. We played video games and all that other stuff too. We played basketball in the park, football in the park. We went to the little dances. We talked to the girls, this, that, and the third. You know, we worked in unison as groups. We went bike riding. We went to the arcade. We did all that stuff. And understood how all of our experiences from childhood to adulthood and socializing with other people made us better people. And then we messed around and had kids and let them be socially awkward and hermits. We are letting them do things that our parents and grandparents wouldn't let us do. There was definitely a problem because people used to walk around with shower caps on in the 80s, and people shower caps on and rollers in their heads, right? And people have got like, hey man, you can't do that. No, you ain't taking it everywhere. You know, people used to do that. That was a thing. You know, but the flip flops, the Crocs, the pajamas in public, the bonnets, you know, the do rags, it becomes weird. It becomes weird because now it looks like the vast majority of us as older people are just letting younger people walk around aimlessly and look silly, and we're not checking them. Like, there was a time where, you know, when we were younger, the older people would make fun of us for our trends, and we would make fun of them for their trends, right? But one of the things was, we will let people know when they're not representing themselves well or not representing their family well. You know, come as you are don't mean roll out of bed and just, you know, hey, I'm here now. That's not that's for church and getting saved. That ain't for going out, and that ain't for job interviews and work and going to class and, you know, going to the grocery store. That's not what that is. You know, so I think we feel like we're disappointed, but we're part of the problem. Gotta say that we're part of the problem. You know, and some of us have sold our kids, you know, the the positivity of negative behavior so much that they participate and create negative situations, and then we act like, you know, these kids ain't got it together and they don't understand life, and it's like, no, you let them do all that ignorant stuff. You created this situation, but now they grown. And the reason I had to harp on that and go back to that is because if our parents did that to us, our grandparents laid the hammer down on our parents and us. And now that we're kind of, some of us are grandparents and some of us on the cusp of being grandparents and we're parents and whatnot, we don't want to be, we're not acting like the patriarchs and the matriarchs of the family who get people in line. We're acting like, you know, the uncles and aunts that we had to respect because our grandparents told us they was adults, but our grandparents were like, hey man, you better, hey, you take the childish stuff elsewhere. We're acting like the childish adults, so that's on us. I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna tell you that.